I remember how energetic you were when we were setting up your nursery. Do you remember this one?
That's when we went on vacation. I loved the pool. I made a big splash.
This is a memorable one for me. That was the year you were very thoughtful.
I remember that year. I had to save all my money to buy everyone a cake.
These past years have brought so much joy to our family.
You too can feel the Christmas joy with an Atlantic Bank Easy Credit Loan. Borrow for that special gift, improve your home, or for your holiday travels. Apply today and take advantage of great interest rates, easy and fast approval, discounted bank fees, and convenient repayment terms. All approved loans from October 3rd to December 16th, 2022 will be entered into our Christmas raffle. For more details, visit atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, spreading Christmas joy this holiday season.
Time to wake up. Time to prepare for the day. Time to learn. Time to make a difference. Time to look after yourself. Time to see your healthcare provider. Don't let cervical cancer stop you from unleashing your potential. Now is the time to get vaccinated. Now is the time to get screened. Now is the time to end cervical cancer. For more information, visit us at www.paho.org/endcervicalcancer.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brams Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
Well, I passed this place down Albert Street and I wonder which new store to bus. It was so welcoming and organized, friendly and courteous staff. But wait, that is same Delta store. Delta store has been revamped to make your shopping experience a whole lot better. But not forget, the best part, the Delta store, everything that is $4.99 or less. You hear right? $4.99 or less. So come on down, Delta store today and shop in style and comfort while you stretch your dollar.
Motorcycles are much smaller than vehicles, which makes it difficult to judge how fast they are going and difficult to see on the road. Motorists often miss oncoming motorcycles and bikes, which can have deadly consequences for riders. Avoid distractions while driving. Stay focused on the road. When making a turn, look once for vehicles and pedestrians, and look twice for motorcycles and bikes. Again, it is look once, look twice, think bike. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Belize Water Services Limited has invested significantly to build a 500,000-gallon concrete storage tank and a 6,000 square feet plant building to improve security of supply of water. to the San Ignacio and Santa Elena towns and surrounding communities at a cost of approximately $6 million Belize dollars. The construction of the generator building will also help with the consistent water supply to customers during power outages to continue flow of water to you, our valued customers. The company has also invested approximately $1 million in new water connections, a new well at the Macal River, upgrades to Calpech Booster Station, and reconstruction of the river crossing for Benke. These investments in San Ignacio and Santa Elena will provide improved water pressure and allowing new customers to have clean potable water in their home.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
There's only 2 weeks to go before the start of the sugarcane crop, and because of the impasse between ASR-BSI and the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, there are concerns that once again the crop won't start on time, resulting in major losses to both sides. But there is some hope tonight because finally a mediator has been agreed upon and appointed. She is Julian Bradley, a court-certified mediator with a long track record of success in court-ordered mediation. Now, she has to jump right into the middle of this protracted commercial dispute with the game clock running down. Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai today said they have an intensive week of meetings planned.
The mediator that was chosen was a lady, Bradley, what's her first name? Julianne Bradley, I think. Okay. She was the mediator that both parties agreed upon. And today at 2 o'clock, you should have the first session, the first mediating session, today and tomorrow. If they have not arrived at anything after tomorrow, they will reconvene on Friday. But I am optimistic, and I do believe that there will still be a crop.
Sir, but time is running out. We're already at the 5th of December.
And that's why I'm saying that today and tomorrow is critical for the mediating teams.
Do you think that it will be ready in time for the proposed date, which is December 19th?
I suspect so. I think both sides want the crop to start, both sides. I don't subscribe to the thought that, BSI has long pockets and that they can wait more than farmer. I do not subscribe to that. BSI is there to milk in. BSI is there to make money. Every day that they lose, they're losing money. Or they're not making money. Because let me correct that. Every day they're not working, they're not making money. Every day farmer is not working, he's not making money. And so both of them have the same objective. They both want money. So I don't subscribe to that notion, BSI has longer pockets, they can wait. It's not like that.
It's not just the BSCFA who would be affected should there be a delay in the start of the new crop season. We have, 3 other cane farmers association from the north who would be affected by this as well.
I would go farther than that. I would say that the northern economy is being affected. The northern economy, not only the farmers, the business people who sell tacos, those who sell in the stores, the supermarkets, everybody will be affected. Not only the cane farmers or the associations, but the economy in the north as at large.
Okay, following this week's arbitration proceedings, notably Bradley was Mai's attorney in 2018 when he faced a civil suit for causing the death of a pedestrian. Justice Courtney Abel ordered Mai to pay damages amounting to over $200,000. December got off to a bloody start after 2 men were gunned down on Sunday afternoon. 26-year-old Cleon Smith and 30-year-old Kendale Ramirez had traveled all the way from the Stan Creek district to meet their end in the Lake Eye area of Belize City. Smith was there to visit his only son from his ex-girlfriend's house, while Ramirez was just there for the ride. But Smith was warned by his family not to go to the Electric Avenue area where the child was. In fact, he wasn't someone who normally wandered around the city when he was there. But his family says he was frustrated and desperate to see his 3-year-old son, and it was while waiting for him that he was ambushed. And now his family believes that he was set up, and police suspect the same. Courtney Menzies spoke with them and has this story.
December started off with a double murder that has left 2 families shaken and at least 1 child fatherless. 26-year-old Cleon Smith lives in Placencia, but on Sunday he drove to Belize to visit his son, as well as to attend a court case that was scheduled for earlier today. On his way, he picked up a friend in St. Bite, 30-year-old Kendall Ramirez. But it wasn't long after they arrived at midday that they were gunned down as they sat inside the vehicle on Electric Avenue.
Smith was visiting his child on that street when he got into an argument of some sort. We know that he left the area and was called back to that area. And upon their arrival, they were ambushed in a red Kia SUV, where these men received several gunshot wounds and died as a result of those gunshots. Huh? We know that investigators have a suspect, and they're trying to put together the motive at this time.
And according to Smith's sister, Cleona Bud, all he wanted was to see the toddler he loved so much. Bud explained that he had gone to the house earlier in the day, but was allegedly chased away by his ex-girlfriend. She had just come off the phone with her brother when the child's maternal grandmother told her the news.
He said, "Sister, I just want to see my baby." And I tell her, "Brother, God, your baby, ma. And talk to her, tell her that you want to see the baby." He said, "Sister, I don't do that." He said, "I the right here." He said, "Me and she the back and forth. He said, "They holler all kind of thing to me." He said, "They lock the door in my face." He said, "I hear the baby, the bawling in the background." He said, "I want to see my daddy. I get the phone. My baby get the phone and I get the number and I call and I say, "Miss Jules, you here for my brother because he want the baby?" He said, "Yes, Cleona." He said, "Your brother just get shot up right now in front of my house in the vehicle." Well, I right there and then I bawl out. I tell her, "Brother, no worry about that baby. I know it hurt you because you love your son and you are your baby mama can't make it." When I tell her, one of these days, she'll make you get hurt, make you get yourself in a trouble, or make you get your death. And I never know yesterday me what be that day. And Panda call when I tell her leave from back there. I tell her that.
Bud said it all happened so fast, which led her to believe that her brother was lured to his death.
I believe that was set up. Who could know that my brother going to the house, that the vehicle my brother made the in our rental, that not even for he. When I reached on the scene, I see my brother had a white yellow shirt. When I reached on the scene, at the far, I can't even see he in the vehicle. I can't even see the brightness of the shirt because of what the vehicle tint so dark.
And after the murder, Smith's mother, Stephanie Bud, went to the scene to see her son, but was reportedly manhandled by an officer.
When I reached on the scene to look for my son, I reached to the vehicle. I see my son there, so I go in for touch her. When I go in for touch her, the policeman, they just haul me down for a back way, straight in at the drain, like I don't know, a human being. And this is my son where they just chance you out of your life. Because now, like, he don't nobody know wrong. They give my son a charge for gang. And that will make my son lose his life right now, because today my son couldn't believe. If he never have this case, he name me dead, believe none at all, because he name like couldn't believe.
He moved there to get away from the gun violence.
Yes, ma'am. Because Placencia is a nice place where he just enjoy for the day.
And for this family, it's even tougher since they just lost another brother and son a little over a year ago.
I can't explain the pain where I go through right now. Only me and God know. Only me and God know, because we know my son, we don't know gangbang. We not do nobody no wrong for make their chance my kids out of their life. No wrong. I know I come up on the media and talk and say, my son an angel and he never angel. He not my angel, two of them are my angel.
We not even get over my brother. We not get over Paul as yet. You know, this happened. We not get no justice to Paul, but we want justice to my brother because everybody, like what I tell my mom, somebody we can't even see, I could hear what they tell them about the situation, yeah, could understand that was set up my brother get. He gets set up.
And according to the Compal, the police are already investigating 2 suspects. The only people who could have known that Smith would have been there at that time.
I'm not going to make any assumption without any facts to support it. But there is a need for us to interview the baby mother more in-depthly to see if it is that she may have something to do with the killing of those 2 individuals, and likewise the current boyfriend that she has. Those 2 persons are our main suspects, and we're looking at them to see if we will be able to come up with anything to prove that they are the killers or maybe behind it.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Smith's father, Cleon Tush Smith Sr., was also killed by gun violence back in 2016. 2 men who were convicted of murder in July of this year were today sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole until they have served 40 years in jail. They are 21-year-old Rahim Budram, the nephew of the deceased, and 21-year-old Kareem Egan Jr., who were convicted of the murder of 43-year-old Shane Budram. The murder happened on 2020 in Wagner's Lane, also known as Jump Street, when the 2 men had a boisterous argument which ended in murder. Egan, at Rahim Budram's directive, pulled the trigger on Budram's uncle, leaving the victim with 10 shots to the body. Today, Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sandcroft deducted their time on remand from their 40-year sentence, leaving them with 37 years, 6 months, and 25 days to spend behind bars. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you about elite cyclist Marlon Castillo's tragic butcher shop mishap. Don't go away.
I remember how energetic you were when we were setting up your nursery. Do you remember this one?
That's when we went on vacation. I loved the pool. I made a big splash.
This is a memorable one for me. That was the year you were very thoughtful.
I remember that year. I had to save all my money to buy everyone a cake.
These past years have brought so much joy to our family.
You too can feel the Christmas joy with an Atlantic Bank Easy Credit Loan. Borrow for that special gift, improve your home, or for your holiday travels. Apply today and take advantage of great interest rates, easy and fast approval, discounted bank fees, and convenient repayment terms. Our approved loans from October 3rd to December 16th, 2022 will be entered into our Christmas raffle. For more details, visit atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, spreading Christmas joy this holiday season.
We live in a world where undernutrition and obesity can exist side by side in the same country, home, or even person. Foods high in sugars, salt, and/or unhealthy fats are leading to unhealthy diets and are one reason why children may not be growing healthily, while causing other people to develop overweight or obesity. The consumption of unhealthy diets is heavily influenced by marketing. Easy access is fueling this new nutrition reality, but thankfully, change towards a healthier future is possible. By having a sustainable healthy diet made up of a variety of foods that are safe for consumption, we can promote health and have better abilities to fight illness. How do we do this? Good nutrition for women during pregnancy and for children in their first 1,000 days of life, including breastfeeding, sets them up for healthy adulthood and future generations. We should eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, pulses, nuts and seeds, and less sugary drinks and foods high in sugars, salt and unhealthy fats. The less of these foods we buy, the more the food industry will be encouraged to produce foods that contribute to healthy diets. We can also call on our leaders to make the right decisions so that every person, everywhere, can afford and access good nutrition. When people like you and me, industries and governments work together to make positive changes, we can create a healthier world.
Stop, love. Don't paint that wall. I have a better idea. Let us wallpaper it. It is cleaner, easier, and so beautiful and looks very artistic when it is all done, and takes less time to do up a wall than to use that smelly paint. And guess what? It is romantic.
What you mean romantic? What is romantic about putting up a wallpaper, honey? Tell me more.
Well, you see, we will go to Mikado and see the range of wallpaper. Then we will choose the design together. We will come home and start putting up the wallpaper. And we will be together and be beside each other. We can put wallpaper in all the rooms. And who knows? They even have wallpaper for the baby room too.
Well, I like the sound of that. So what are we waiting for? Let's go to Mikado like now.
Come in, honey.
You can also see our selection of wallpaper on our Facebook page. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Mikado, centrally located in the heart of Belize City at number 37 Albert Street.
Channel 7's Christmas Bram is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Bram's grand finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
The human papillomavirus, HPV, is responsible for 90% of cervical cancer cases. 80% of the population may be infected with HPV during their lifetime. HPV screening can prevent cervical cancer. Females 25 to 65 years old get tested for HPV. The HPV test is now available at your nearest health facility. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, with funding and partnership support from the United States of America.
Do you need to apply for a Social Security card? With our newest online service, My Social Security, applying for a card just got easier. With a My Social Security account, you can apply for a card anytime and anywhere, putting you in control. To use this service, you must first create your My Social Security account
Visit our website. Under Online Services, select My Social Security. Provide your personal information and await activation of your new account. After activation, you are free to log in to your My Social Security account to complete your online application for a Social Security card. Be sure to book your registration appointment to finish the card application process. Gain control and truly experience Social Security at your fingertips.
NextGen takes you to Qatar. Catch the live action and excitement of FIFA World Cup 2022 from November 20th to December 18th exclusively on NextGen. Make the switch and sign up today. Packages start as low as $5. NextGen, the official broadcaster of FIFA World Cup in Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, one of Belize's premier cyclists, Marlon Castillo, is barely out of surgery after a tragic accident has left him in danger of losing his right hand. That mishap with a meat grinder took place this morning at the family butcher shop in the Michael Finnegan Market, and it has left 35-year-old Marlon Castillo in an unimaginable situation. And while the injury is not life-threatening, it may threaten to prevent him competing in the sport that he dedicated half his life to. Cherise Halsau has the story.
He was the second Belizean to cross the finish line at last year's cross-country race, but Marlon Castillo may never ride competitively again, after a tragic accident at his family's butcher shop that left his right hand trapped and partially mangled. This afternoon, we spoke via phone to the Vice President of the Cycling Association, Dion Leslie.
There was an accident and Marlon Castillo had gotten his hand stuck in the grinder. Of course, those who know Marlon or those who don't, he owns a meat shop. And he was grinding some meat and apparently he lost track of what he was doing, to my understanding, and got his hand stuck in it, and it was pretty nasty. I learned about 20 minutes ago that he actually just came out of surgery, so we don't know the extent of the damage to his hand, if what all had to be cut off or what all was able to be salvaged by the doctors. So we don't know the extent.
And while Castillo and his family prepare for a long recovery, his cycling family is also standing by to offer their support.
I was informed by his family members that he has come out of surgery, and so we'll just wait to see. But it's sad for Marlon, who has been around cycling for, over 20 years. I think Marlon started riding when he was 14 years old, and he won everything possible in cycling except for the Grand Boy, which is the Holy Saturday Cross Country Classic.
But what, if any, future in cycling can Castillo hope to have? Leslie is optimistic.
I personally don't know the extent of what was lost, or as I said, what was, what the doctors were able to salvage. Based on that, we know and we've seen that there are ways people do use prosthetics for cycling and whatnot. So it's not, the end of the road. Knowing the love that Marlon has for this sport and the determination he has, I don't see this as something that, ends it for him or takes him off the bike forever. But as again, we're just a guess, so we'll have to wait and see what's the extent. And based on that, we're all here for Marlon to see how we can help him recover and see how we can help him move forward to, not only get back on the bike, but get back to his shop, his business, his family, and doing all the things he loves.
Cherise Halsall, 7 News.
Castillo, who is left-handed, sustained the injury to his right hand. We note that he placed fourth in last year's cross-country in what was considered a remarkable ride because he was just coming back to the sport after a period of dormancy. After having to postpone the House meeting last Friday due to illness, Prime Minister Briceño has rebounded and is traveling on official business. The PM left today for the 8th Summit of Heads of State and Government of CARICOM and Cuba in Bridgetown, Barbados. After that, he island hops to the Dominican Republic for the 56th meeting of SICA. The PM returns on December 10th and the House meeting will now be held on Monday, December 12th. But before he left, the PM sent a letter to the president of Oceana's Board of Directors in Washington, D.C., basically Janelle Chanona's boss. As you've heard, the PM was none too pleased about the broadside he got from Oceana almost 3 weeks ago when Chanona said that the Briceño administration intended to proceed with seismic testing, possibly as a prelude to seismic testing. To stop that, Oceana launched a petition to trigger a referendum on the issue. Well, in the letter dated December 2nd, the PM tells Chanona's boss, quote, "I state for the record that no ministry or department has or proposed to authorize offshore seismic testing. The written assurance this letter represents supersedes any prior statements or inferences," end quote. And then in the last paragraph, the PM gets to the bottom line where he tries to stop the petition for a referendum. He says, quote, "I consider the referendum proposed by Oceana Belize to be unnecessary. Instead, it would be best for us to re-engage meaningfully and in good faith and to refocus on those many marine conservation challenges that require collaborative action now." Regularly on the news, you can see the media and the top police brass duke it out on crime narratives, statistics, and policing strategies. The press is obliged to ask tough questions about police handling high-profile matters, such as the recent fatal shooting of Francis Ramos, a mentally ill man armed with a knife who kept advancing on officers. Also, the department often has to shoulder unfair criticism from citizens on social media who love to condemn the cops even when they don't have all the facts. And now, there'll be criticism from one more quarter. The ministry in charge of the police and the highest-ranking officers of the department are asking their colleagues in the rank and file to provide an honest assessment of top brass management decisions. They want to hear from police officers about what management decisions are working and which ones aren't. The department members are being asked to engage in this assessment through an initiative called Rethinking Police. A pilot project was launched today at the Raccoon Street Police Station, and Daniel Ortiz was there.
The top-level management of the police department and the Ministry of Home Affairs think that the time has come for the hundreds of police officers to assess their bosses on the efficiency of the management and supervising procedures that govern their day-to-day duties. It's their opportunity to give their police bosses a report card, so to speak.
When you look at the whole concept of the rethinking police management, it is a system that has been put in place for the rank and file of the department to be able to do an assessment of how we're managing and policing the country.
They will do so in the next few months using a pilot project called the Rethinking Police Initiative. It's the department's opportunity to engage in a frank and maybe even brutally honest assessment on their roles and functions and what the on-duty men and women want to see them change.
It's rethinking, doing different things in trying to uplift our department and changing the way, the image of the department. We know constantly from our statistics that how well we are doing in terms of crime prevention, but this now looks at how well we are doing in management and how well we are doing in serving you, the members of the Belize Police Department.
Oftentimes, as police officers, we're confronted with situations, and the way we do things at times may not be the best. And so what this rethinking strategy is going to do is to give the rank and file an opportunity to be able to assess the leadership of the department, to see if we as managers are doing the things that you believe we should be doing in order to make you more effective on the grounds as you carry out your daily tasks. Now, as managers or leaders, we must always be open to new ideas, so long as they are going to yield good results If you do the same thing over and over and over, you get the same results. And only a crazy man would do that. And I don't think that any of us here are crazy. Those of you who are going to be a part of the pilot project, I ask that you give it your full support and be honest in your assessment. That's the only way we'll be able to ensure we get the best results possible.
The pilot project will start in Belize, where we have 60% of our personnel and 90% of our problems. But it is a tool to assess our management stock, to find procedural gaps, supervising failures and successes, to find opportunities to rethink the very management structure that we use.
The hope is that by identifying latent management problems or fundamentally flawed decision-making, the department will be able to avoid public embarrassments like the case of 20-year-old Derek O, who died from heat stroke after officers left him locked up for hours in a police van in the broiling hot sun. The police commissioner gave us a few examples of the type of feedback they're hoping for.
The first one that comes to me is public relations. I think that we do a shabby job when it comes to public relations. It's not an indictment on Mr. Earwood and the team, because really they are not public relations. Their task is to serve as our intermediary with the media. We don't have a public relation officer per se, and I think it's time for us to be able to employ someone to do that for us. Oftentimes we see all the negativity about the police on social media, and there is always no rebuttal from the police to give the public the police version. And so we want to be able to have that as well, where it's not to defend, but just to let the public see both sides, and then the public can make an assessment, having seen both sides in terms of who may be right and who may be wrong. Many times we find that one of our greatest shortcomings is not that management don't have things in place. If you were to look at our policy manual, you look at our national crime fighting strategy, you look at what we publish in departmental orders, you will see that we do have good policies, a good structure in place to manage the police department, but our failure in most areas is supervision. Those persons who are supposed to ensure that the policies and the strategies are executed are not supervising properly, and so we're having shortcomings there. And so that's another area I expect that this project is going to fix. It's going to point out that we are failing at that middle management level in terms of executing the policies and strategies that we have in place.
Reporting for 7 News, Daniel Ortiz.
Sources tell us that the genesis of this initiative came about when members of the ministry started taking notes of management problems within the department, which they believe need to be urgently fixed. That's when the idea was explored to engage in an employee survey similar to those from large private companies. We are told that the outcome of the feedback from the rank and file will be collated, and then the public will be allowed to share their views. Today's press encounter allowed us to ask the police commissioner about the international press reports which indicate that the governments of Honduras and El Salvador have launched major gang crackdowns. International reports say that the Honduran government announced on Saturday that it would suspend some constitutional rights in areas of 2 main cities, Tegucigalpa and the northern city of San Pedro Sula, which will be placed under a national security emergency, their country's version of those states of emergency that have been implemented in Belize. Also, several thousand troops have already been amassed in the Salvadorian municipality of Soyapango for a massive gang crackdown in that country's 3rd most populated area. So, since Honduras and Salvador are close neighbors to Belize, we asked the commissioner if he and his team are concerned about an influx of Honduran refugees and potential gang members of the MS-13 gang. Here's what he had to say.
Yes, I saw where Honduras is suspending certain provisions of their constitution, and it has to do with fundamental rights and freedom, which means that they are about to invoke a state of emergency. And from what I have been seeing on the international news, particularly coming out of Central America, is that they are going to do this similar to what is being done in Salvador relating to the crackdown on gangs. I have heard likewise from a few counterparts in Guatemala that they're also contemplating the same. Certainly, Belize is right next door to Guatemala, not too far from Honduras, again next door through the maritime domain, and Salvador is just an hour away, likewise. And so, as a nation, we have to look at what is happening around us very seriously and make sure we put things in place that is not going to have these gang members who may want to flee those jurisdictions see us as a safe haven. And with that, I can say that we are monitoring our local gangs very closely, and as much as we are working with them through the multi-sectoral approach and the LIU, if it is that we should find that despite the efforts that we're doing through the multi-sectoral and the LIU, that the propensity for violence among these gang members do not decrease, then we will have to look at draconian measures as well. We're hoping that we don't have to get there, but as a department, as a country, the government have a responsibility to ensure it safeguard the masses, and we cannot allow ourselves to be held hostage or imprisoned by a few persons who just don't want to behave themselves. So it's something that we're monitoring very closely, and the minute we see that things is not going the way it should, then who needs to be locked down will be locked down.
Belize's new U.S. ambassador has well and truly arrived, and 6 years after the departure of the last ambassador, Carlos Moreno, who left in 2016, Ambassador Michelle Kwan has presented her letters of credence to both Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eamon Courtney, and Governor General Froila Salam. A release from the U.S. Embassy tonight says, quote, since arriving, Ambassador Kwan has expressed her enthusiasm to work with the government and people of Belize, and she has committed to working to continue and expand these efforts regarding our many mutual goals, end quote. We'll take a break now. When we come back, John Sativa said on Friday he lived to fight another day. Shine Barrow says he's not so sure about that when we come back.
I remember how energetic you were when we were setting up your nursery. Do you remember this one?
That's when we went on vacation. I loved the pool. I made a big splash.
This is a memorable one for me. That was the year you were very thoughtful.
I remember that year. I had to save all my money to buy everyone a cake.
These past years have brought so much joy to our family.
You too can feel the Christmas joy with an Atlantic Bank Easy Credit Loan. Borrow for that special gift, improve your home, or for your holiday travels. Apply today and take advantage of great interest rates, easy and fast approval, discounted bank fees, and convenient repayment terms. Our approved loans from October 3rd to December 16th, 2022 will be entered into our Christmas raffle. For more details, visit atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, spreading Christmas joy this holiday season.
As the world's weather and climate are changing, so too must the energy sector's approach to ensuring a more resilient power system. With funds provided by the Global Environment Facility's Special Climate Change Fund and the World Bank acting as the executing agency, BEL, with support from the Government of Belize and the National Meteorological Services, is able to lead the implementation of special projects under the country's Energy Resilience for Climate Adaptation Project, ERCAP.
The ERCAP includes a number of sub-projects, such as upgrading of BEL's existing stations, construction of new stations, installation of weather stations across Belize, installation of lightning detection system, a number of consultancy service, and a number of other projects that will help to enhance Belize's energy sector against the effects of climate change. And we understand that these project activities may affect different communities or different stakeholders in different ways. And thus, we have established a grievance redress mechanism. The grievance redress mechanism is really a way for concerned communities, stakeholders, or persons to be able to lodge their concerns.
To report a concern, call our toll-free number at 0800-BEL-CARE or 0800-235-2273, or visit our website at www.bel.com.bz and complete the online grievance redress mechanism form. Or you can also choose to download, print, and complete at your own convenience. Printed forms can be delivered to the nearest BEL office.
All grievances received are highly confidential and managed solely by BEL.
The Government of Belize, World Bank, and Belize Electricity Limited, partnering to reinforce the national power grid against the effects of weather and climate change.
Have you heard about the once daily pill that can help prevent HIV?
Pre-exposure prophylaxis, also known as PrEP, is a once daily prescription medication that helps you lower your chances of contracting HIV. PrEP may not be for everyone, so speak to your healthcare provider to find out if PrEP is right for you.
PrEP does not prevent pregnancy or other sexually transmitted infections, so it's important to use a condom every time you have sex and to get tested regularly.
PrEP. It's something positive to help keep you HIV negative.
You must be HIV negative to qualify for PrEP, so you need to get tested for HIV immediately before and every 3 months while taking the pill.
So what are you waiting for? Talk to your doctor about your risk of HIV and find out if PrEP is right for you.
Make staying safe a habit. Step up, PrEP up.
To partake in the ongoing PrEP pilot project, which ends in December, visit Matron Roberts Polyclinic or the Belize Family Life Association in Belize City.
I had a black dog. His name was Depression. Whenever the black dog made an appearance, I felt empty and life just seemed to slow down. He could surprise me with a visit for no reason or occasion. The black dog made me look and feel older than my years. When the rest of the world seemed to be enjoying life, I could only see it through the black dog. Activities that usually brought me pleasure suddenly ceased to. He liked to ruin my appetite. He chewed up my memory and my ability to concentrate. Doing anything or going anywhere with the black dog required superhuman strength. At social occasions, he'd sniff out what confidence I had and chase it away. My biggest fear was being found out. I worried that people would judge me. Because of the shame and stigma of the black dog, I was constantly worried that I'd be found out. So I invested vast amounts of energy into covering him up. Keeping up an emotional lie is exhausting. Black dog could make me think and say negative things. He could make me irritable and difficult to be around. He would take my love and bury my intimacy. He loved nothing more than to wake me up with highly repetitive and negative thinking. He also liked to remind me how exhausted I was going to be the next day. Having a black dog in your life isn't so much about feeling a bit down, sad or blue. At its worst, it's about being devoid of feeling altogether. As I got older, the black dog got bigger and he started hanging around all the time. I'd chase him off with whatever I thought might send him running. But more often than not, he'd come out on top. Going down became easier than getting up again. So I became rather good at self-medication, which never really helped. Eventually, I felt totally isolated from everything and everyone. The black dog had finally succeeded in hijacking my life. When you lose all joy in life, you can begin to question what the point of it is. Thankfully, this was the time that I sought professional help. This was my first step towards recovery and a major turning point in my life. I learned that it doesn't matter who you are, the black dog affects millions and millions of people. It is an equal opportunity mongrel. I also learned that there was no silver bullet or magic pill. Medication can help some, and others might need a different approach altogether. I also learned that being emotionally genuine and authentic to those who are close to you can be an absolute game changer. Most importantly, I learnt not to be afraid of the black dog, and I taught him a few new tricks of my own. The more tired and stressed you are, the louder he barks, so it's important to learn how to quiet your mind. It's been clinically proven that regular exercise can be as effective for treating mild to moderate depression as antidepressants. So go for a walk or a run and leave the mutt behind. Keep a mood journal. Getting your thoughts on paper can be cathartic and often insightful. Also keep track of the things that you have to be grateful for. The most important thing to remember is that no matter how bad it gets, if you take the right steps, talk to the right people, Black Dog days can and will pass. I wouldn't say that I'm grateful for the Black Dog, but he's been an incredible teacher. He forced me to reevaluate and simplify my life. I learnt that rather than running away from my problems, it's better to embrace them. The Black Dog may always be part of my life, but he'll never be the beast that he was. We have an understanding. I've learned through knowledge, patience, discipline and humour, the worst Black Dog can be made to heal. If you're in difficulty, never be afraid to ask for help. There is absolutely no shame in doing so. The only shame is missing out on life.
Channel 7's Christmas brand is here. It's all happening from Sunday, December 11th to Thursday, December 15th.
And we want you to come up on all the giveaways. So how do you do that?
Come to our office on Albert Street to buy your 25-cent ticket. You can buy as many as you want for more and more chances at a prize.
That ticket gets your name in the barrel and gives you a chance to win cash prizes, jewelry, electronic appliances, and much, much more.
Then, join us in person on Thursday, December 15th for the Brahms Grand Finale at Blue Martini. Your $10 entrance gets you a golden ticket to win even bigger prizes.
So that's 5 nights of non-stop entertainment, non-stop giveaways, and non-stop fun.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Belize Dara Cyber Home Theatre presents a tribute to the late great Otis Redding on Saturday, December 10th, 2022. It's an all-white affair and dance, live music by Mr. Mellow Madness Metro, live DVD performance of Otis Redding on the big screen.
Think about it, baby. Listen, you really ought to think about it.
Bring out the entire family to the Ex-Servicemen League on 158 Newtown Barracks on Saturday, December 10th, 2022 from 8 p.m. until. Entrance is only $10.
I'll let nothing separate us.
Next Gen takes you to Qatar. Catch the live action and excitement of FIFA World Cup 2022 from November 20th to December 18th exclusively on Next Gen. Make the switch and sign up today. Packages start as low as $5. Next Gen, the official broadcaster of FIFA World Cup in Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
When we left you on Friday night, it was with the news that the UDP's John Saldiva had been rejected by the special committee, but was awaiting an appeal before the National Party Council. His release on Friday night said that the special committee has, quote, referred the matter of my continued candidacy for the Belmopan constituency to the National Party Council after a narrow vote against my candidacy. The final decision lies with the NPC. Well, a release from Leader Shine Barrow on Saturday basically said that his one-time road dog has it all wrong. Nothing was referred. Shine's release says that the special committee's decision, quote, on John Saldiva's alleged corruption and its impact on the UDP institution is binding and final. The binding decision by the Special Committee on John Saldivar that it is in the best interest of the party that Mr. Saldivar's candidacy be disallowed is with immediate effect, end quote. Barrow adds that as a consequence of this, Saldivar must also immediately relinquish his positions as interim caretaker for Belmopan and Western Regional Leader. He does agree that Saldivar may appeal the decision to the NPC, but what he doesn't say is that he must do this by petitioning an emergency meeting of the NPC, which will require close to 200 signatures. Even if he does get this, insiders suggest that the NPC may not be in any great rush to meet, and indeed, a Belmopan convention without Saldivar could be held before he is able to get that hearing. Of course, this is just one possible scenario, and we all know that in the UDP right now, the deck is stacked with jokers, and those jokers are always wild. The Ministry of Agriculture has compiled the data on the quantum of damages that Hurricane Lisa caused in their sector. Today, Minister Jose Mai didn't have a figure, but he did say that the Kaya district got the most damage.
I can tell you, I can't give a detail, but I will tell you that the area most affected was the Cayo area, where we have sugarcane, fruit trees, a lot of fruit trees along that path where the hurricane passed over. We were fortunate that much of the corn crop had already been harvested, thank God for that. We'd have suffered serious losses. We had some losses in soybean, but fruit trees was affected a lot. Yeah.
Mai departed for Chile today. The Complete Caribbean program celebrated 10 years today with a detailed look at how the initiative is improving lives in Belize. The program focuses on using science and technology to enhance the business climate as well as to stimulate private sector competitiveness through innovation. Currently, it is in the second phase and has supported Belize with an investment of US $2.2 million towards local and regional projects. At a forum today, the country rep from the IDB, which finances the program, as well as the CEO, the Ministry of Economic Development, explained more about how this initiative has helped to develop Belize.
This initiative is providing resources and technical knowledge to micro, small, and medium enterprises to improve their digital conditions and the management in order to be much more sustainable and productive. With this initiative, we provided to the Belize new technologies and blockchain for the sugar industry. We provided also a system that monitors the climate change for the shrimp industry, and in the case, for example, of the BPOs industry, we providing support and technical knowledge for the drafting legislation and the promotion of investment. And with that, for example, in this last case, we supported to develop more than 3,000 jobs in the BPO industry. The IDB is scaling up these projects, and now, thanks to the Complete Caribbean that we identified projects, we are contributing with the government with a new program for $10 million US. This is a loan in order to support micro, small, and medium enterprise to be much more digital, and also we are supporting the government to digitalize the civil registry and the land registry.
It was interesting to see that one of the panelists, Mr. Alvin Henderson, he was just explaining what technology can do in the productive sector. And so he's in the aquaculture industry, and production has increased by 400%. And that is because of the technology that we have been able to mobilize through Complete Caribbean. And so this is important to note that science and technology is the way forward on the productive sector, and for us to be able to compete globally, not only with production, but also with the quality of the product. In terms of digitalization and to boost economic development through the digitalization, it is very important because of the era that we are in and that we are living on. So, for example, this is the digital era, and if Belize does not make those adjustments as soon as possible, then we will be leaving behind, okay? Because we will need to create, or there is the need to enable that environment for our MSMEs, but also for investors and local and both foreign direct investors. And so that by itself the digitalization will help to, one, to enable the environment, and two, it will help to increase the velocity of transactions, meaning there should be a faster time in terms of registering a company or paying taxes or being able to get all the documentations to open a bank account or whatever it is needed. It should be done at a faster pace.
And the Minister of Agriculture spoke on the issues his sector still faces and the possible solutions.
Even as we are improving economically, even as we're exporting, even as the economy is growing, contrary to what the IMF had said, we still have challenges. You will realize that our exports are limited to a few commodities, the traditional sugar, citrus, bananas, marine products. So it is important that we find a way to expand the export base, to look at non-traditional products, to look at niche markets, to see how small farmers can get in and export. So that is the challenge that we have faced as a country. And the agriculture sector, of course, looking at who we're exporting to. Again, it's a small group of countries. We export mainly to the US, to the CARICOM, the UK. These are the small pool. So expanding the base, diversifying the base, and expanding to other markets.
Complete Caribbean provides technical assistance to 13 regional countries. On Saturday, 36 Belizeans graduated from the University of the West Indies with master's degree in inclusive and special education. Their accomplishment coming in the wake of Disabilities Week underscores the capacity of Belize's teachers to provide wider-ranging competency-based and individual educational plans. Their accomplishment was celebrated by CEO of Education, Diane Mejia, who assured the graduates that this is just the start of solidifying Belize's plans for special education. Here's some of what she had to say in celebration of the graduates.
Those of you who have chosen to focus on inclusive and special education, I'm so grateful for you. Your choice is so important, not just to you, but to our country. I'm happy that you are ready to join our work. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology shared to every special education officer and every teacher who has already begun to learn and to work toward the development of IEPs for those students who absolutely need them. It matters what you're doing. Don't stop. It's hard, and it's going to get harder because people are going to continue to push back against us and say, why are you giving me more work? But we're going to need to keep moving and keep doing. Over the course of this calendar year, our Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology has already collaborated to provide 24 and counting trainings for principals, school leaders, teachers, officers, parents in different areas that will support students with special education needs. That's unprecedented.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease are just some of the non-communicable diseases caused by unhealthy dietary and lifestyle behavior. They're also some of the leading causes of death worldwide, and in the Caribbean, these diseases are a major threat to health, development, and even economic stability. It's all part and parcel of the reasoning for this week's NCD Surveillance Workshop. scheduled for today and tomorrow at the Biltmore. And this morning, as the workshop opened up, Representative Dr. Edwin Bolastig have given some worrying statistics about NCDs and praised Belize for the role it's now taking on this global fight.
More than 40 million people die annually from NCDs, representing 74% of global deaths. This includes more than 15 million people who died too young between the ages of 30 and 70. In the Americas, NCDs is responsible for more than 1 million or 34% of premature deaths, and in the Caribbean, 45% of all premature deaths. And Belize, NCDs account for 65% of deaths with 16% probability of premature mortality from NCDs according to the 2022 NCD Progress Monitor. Today, Belize demonstrates its leadership in strengthening Belize's capacity to conduct surveillance on NCDs and risk factors by assessing and building up on key sources of information to better monitor policies and programs and respond to global and regional commitments.
In 2020, an estimated 2/3 of the global burden of disease has been caused by chronic NCDs directly associated with diet. In Belize, according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness's Epidemiology Unit, the leading causes of death for the year 2021, and this is in descending order, were COVID-19, diseases of the heart, malignant neoplasms, diabetes, and fifth is assaults and homicides. Surveillance is a compulsory part of any health system, and strengthening surveillance across the health sector helps to detect and manage cases and situations early. And of course, surveillance goes hand in hand with research, and this is also an area that we are very much trying to develop a lot more at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We aim to assess capacity at the national level on NCDs and risk factor surveillance by identifying processes and strategies that we can do to improve.
The goal of this week's workshop is to review national, regional, and global surveillance, as well as to develop work plans to build on Belize's national surveillance system. And one communicable disease that the surveillance system should be picking up on right about now is COVID, which is spiking in this flu season. Today, the numbers posted on the Ministry of Health's website jumped out at us because they are the highest in September. They show a positive rate of 11%, and there were 69 new cases reported. The greater number of cases was reported in the Cayo district, followed by the Belize district, and currently there are 50 cases and 688 people that have died from the virus. And that ends our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can check us out at 7newsbelize.com, and I'll be back here at 6 tomorrow. So until then, have a great night.